Welcome back, children. So coming to today's class on alternating currents, we will be studying about LC oscillations. So we know inductor and capacitor are the two elements which have ability to store some energy. Inductor stores energy in the form of magnetic field, which is half Li square, and whereas capacitor stores energy in the form of electric field, and we can write it as half Q square divided by C. Okay, now we will see what would happen when a charged capacitor, okay, a capacitor is already having some amount of charge on it, if it is connected to an inductor without any source of power supply. And then we will understand what do we mean by this LC oscillations. Okay, so to begin with, let us take one capacitor which is fully charged, a charged capacitor. So what is the initial amount of charge on the capacitor? If charge on capacitor is Q, I will write its energy as half Q square divided by C. So this capacitor, we are going to connect it to an inductor. Assume the inductor to be ideal, of inductance L, through a switch. And we will try to understand what would happen as soon as you close the switch. So close the switch. We know capacitor is going to discharge and it will charge the inductor. So I will apply Kirchhoff's law for this loop. Okay, the potential drop across the capacitor is Q by C, and we know potential drop across inductor is L into di divided by dt. Okay, so since capacitor is discharging, if I name these 2 points as A and B, this will be plus and minus. So apply Kirchhoff's law, Q by C, potential drop across the capacitor, minus positive to negative, L into di by dt should be equal to 0. But we know charge on the plates of the capacitor, is it increasing with time or decreasing with time? It is initially decreasing with time. So I can write dq by dt. Okay, current I is equal to minus of dq by dt. Okay, minus sign here indicates that charge is decreasing with time. So wherever you have current I can write it as minus dq divided by dt. So go back to this relation, q by c minus L into d by dt of minus dq by dt, I will make it plus dq by dt should be equal to 0. See, we have got a double second order differential equation, or q by c. Okay, I will write this term first, L into d square q by dt square plus q by c is equal to 0, or d square q by dt square plus q by lc should be equal to 0. So observe this equation carefully. Okay, when we studied oscillations in simple harmonic motion, what was the general equation representing a simple harmonic motion, linear SHM? Acceleration is proportional to negative of displacement, or we used to write it this way, acceleration plus omega square x should be equal to 0. We know acceleration can be written as d square x by dt square. For a simple harmonic oscillator, d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. Compare the two relations. It's a second order differential equation in x, second order differential equation in q. Omega square is 1 by LC. X is replaced with q. So by comparing these two relations, we can say that charge in the circuit is going to oscillate with time. Since charge is oscillating with time, we call such oscillations as what oscillations? LC oscillations. Okay, now I will write the frequency of oscillations. By comparing these two relations, in the place of omega square we have 1 by LC. Omega square is equal to 1 by LC. So what is the frequency of the oscillations? 1 by square root of L into C. And we know the solution of this simple harmonic differential equation. X is equal to a sin omega t or a cos omega t plus or minus phi. Okay, hope you remember this. Similarly, now I can write charge as initial charge on capacitor. I'll take it as Q naught cos omega t. Okay, I'm writing it as cos omega t because at t equal to 0, capacitor was fully charged. Okay, you can't write it as sin omega t. If you write sin omega t at t equal to 0, charge on capacitor is 0. But we know when you started your experiment, charge on capacitor was Q naught. Okay, I'll make it Q naught. So initial charge on capacitor is Q naught. So what should be your equation for charge on the capacitor, or equation representing Q? Q is equal to Q naught cos omega t. So if charge is oscillating with time, when I differentiate it, I can prove that even current is going to oscillate with time. So when I find dq by dt, when I differentiate this relation, Q naught is a constant. Differential of cos omega t is minus sin omega t into omega. So will this give me the current? Omega into Q naught, I will write it as I naught sin omega into t. So is current in the circuit also oscillating with time? So current is also oscillating and charge is also oscillating with time. Then such oscillations we call them as LC oscillations. So this is mathematically proving that when a charged capacitor is connected to an inductor, current is sinusoidally oscillating with time. Now we can also explain it, okay, by just showing energy dissipated by capacitor and inductor, okay, in the diagrammatic representation. Okay, look at the second method of explaining LC oscillations. Okay, now look at the qualitative explanation of LC oscillations by using energy stored by inductor and capacitor. Okay, so let us start with a charged capacitor. Okay, which is completely storing energy in the form of electric field, and we are connecting it to an inductor. Okay, let the inductance be L through a switch. Okay, what is the initial energy of the capacitor? Half Q naught square divided by C. Q naught, I am assuming it as the initial amount of charge. Okay, hope you remember, just now we have proved that Q is equal to Q naught cos omega t. Initially, the charge on the capacitor is Q naught. So then what would happen as you close the switch? Capacitor discharges and inductor is getting some current. So inductor is getting charged. Charge on the plates of capacitor will decrease, whereas flux across inductor will increase. Okay, if you draw the magnetic field lines for this inductor, okay, flux is increasing with time. So after a certain interval of time, capacitor is completely discharging. So capacitor is discharging, inductor is storing the energy in the form of magnetic field. Okay, we are just trying to explain by using these diagrams how energy is distributed. Okay, give more number of field lines and there is a current in the circuit. So step 3, capacitor is completely discharged, inductor has got the complete energy. So magnetic electrical energy is completely transferred to magnetic energy. Now inductor will start discharging and charging the capacitor. Okay, in the next step, flux across inductor has decreased and energy of the capacitor is again increasing. Then capacitor is fully charged. Is it visible? Inductor is completely charging the capacitor. Okay. Throughout current was in only one direction but changing its magnitude. So the energy stored by inductor has become 0. So when energy stored by inductor becomes 0, current also reduces to 0. As long as there is current in the circuit, inductor will store some energy. Now inductor has completely lost its energy and capacitor has got back its energy. So what is the current in the circuit? 0. So throughout this, current was moving in one specific direction. Say I took it as clockwise. In the next step, inductor is discharging. So what will happen to the direction of current? Reverses. Not inductor, sorry, capacitor is discharging. So in the next step, capacitor discharges, direction of current has reversed. Okay, charge on the plates of the capacitor is again decreasing, but this time current has reversed its direction. Flux on inductor slowly starts increasing. Continue. Capacitor is fully discharged. Inductor has completely stored energy in the form of magnetic flux. Current will reach its peak value because inductor is fully charged. Now again the process will repeat. Inductor charges the capacitor. So current will again start decreasing because flux is decreasing with time. Now the next step will be back to initial. Capacitor is fully charged, inductor has become vacant. Now look at this sequence of steps. So is the process cyclic? Capacitor is losing its energy, inductor is gaining, inductor has got maximum value of current, again current is decreasing and becoming 0, reversed its direction, increasing to maximum, again decreasing and becoming 0. So this is how charge and current are oscillating with time, and such oscillations we call them as LC oscillations. So you can explain it mathematically or only by a qualitative explanation. We can prove that current in this LC circuit is going to oscillate with time. But remember, here we have assumed that inductor is ideal when we started taking this LC oscillations. But truly speaking, no inductor is ideal. Okay, always inductor offers some resistance. It already has some small amount of resistance. And because of this resistance, we cannot expect sustained oscillations by a combination of LC. In fact, the nature of oscillations will be damped oscillations because inductor dissipates energy in the form, and resistor dissipates energy in the form of heat. The resistance offered by inductor will dissipate the energy. So what is the nature of oscillations? We can't expect sustained oscillations. It will become damped oscillations. And even if you consider an ideal inductor, remember whenever charge oscillates with time, okay, an accelerated charge will dissipate electromagnetic energy. Okay, it releases or it radiates energy. Even because of this electromagnetic radiation also, oscillations will become damped. So to compensate this damping, we will have to use an oscillator, okay, a tank circuit oscillator, which we'll study in the last chapter. Okay, by using a transistor, we can obtain a sustained oscillations. But as such, a pure inductor and capacitor will always give you damped oscillations. So this is all about LC oscillations.